everybody. It's Georgia Rose from Zencuda. How are you all doing this week? I feel like I was just here yesterday and it's been a week already. Welcome to the Soul Space. I am Georgia Rose. I am a psychic astrologer and I am, a lot of things, I guess. I'm also a realtor and I am a healer and a medium. And I hopefully for the next hour will be an inspirational being. So how are you guys doing in this energy? We're going to have a live show tonight, so you can call in anytime you want. We'll be putting that number up on the screen. And we have so much to talk about. We've got, we've got eclipses and full moons and Mercury Retrograde, plus a lot of other stuff. This is the show where we keep positive and give you some positive and beautiful content to watch instead of all the stinky stuff that's on the news these days. And I always talk about what I've been thinking about this past week and my own journey with spirituality and trying to be a better human. So this is the show if you're trying to be a better human to come to. So we've got a lot of energy coming in this week. This week will be a lot of changes for everybody. I think that there's also a lot of energy coming in to do with mothers and feminine and female relationships. So for those of you who are watching and are in relationships with females, you may just have some upheaval, but it may be good stuff too. You never know. Change can be either. I am also thinking that this week we're going to see some shifts of energy with this full moon coming in, especially because there's an eclipse. And eclipses reveal things. What is it going to reveal for you? I wonder. So eclipses like to reveal things. And usually when they do, it's something that has either been in shadow for you. Excuse my old-fashioned legal pad tonight. I didn't have my laptop around. Usually eclipses reveal something that we've been keeping hidden or we don't want to talk about or that we are not really aware of. It really is going to be a lot of awareness coming to the surface this week. So if you'd like readings with some cards, you can call into the show anytime tonight. We'll put the number on the screen and we'll get started. Let's see, who have I got online tonight? Hold on one second. I got to just look at my screen. I got Janine and a couple of other people on. Welcome, everybody. If you want to share the show on your pages, I would be absolutely grateful for that. We're trying to increase our viewership because, as you all know, people out there really need some Zen, and we're going to give it to them in the soul space. Aww. So I want to send hearts out to everybody, love out to everybody. Those of you who are in some kind of dis-ease now, or you are feeling a little gloomy, we're going to send you some love. Everybody wants to put some hearts up. And like I said, if you guys can share the show for me, that'll be great. So the eclipses are here. They're no longer coming. We've already had one, and now we're going to have this one. The full moon is in Scorpio. It happens it's Monday at like 12 a.m. So it's really kind of like Sunday night, Monday, right after midnight. So you'll see the full moon on Sunday night. If you want to do a ritual or anything, you can certainly do it then. I'm going to be doing my rituals then. It's a night when you want to put out all of your crystals. For those of you who use crystals for energy, you can put those out under the full moon and they'll get recharged, especially if you have quartz and things like that. I have this beautiful Lemurian crystal, which I bought quite a while ago, almost, I'd say 15 years ago. And it's really a big crystal. It has a record keeper in it, which is where you can actually see inside the crystal and almost meditate to see stories sometimes. And the crystal spoke to me for a long time, and then it kind of ran out of energy. And so I brought it to a healer friend of mine a while back to have it recharged to see if he could work with it and bring it back to its vibrancy. And it really never came back. So, taking care of your crystals and putting them out in the moon energy is really important. So just recently, another friend of mine who's very special and has a lot of healing energy took my Lemurian, and she has been working with it. And I am going to be reunited with my Lemurian crystal on the full moon on Sunday. So I'm really excited about that. So if you have a crystal journey or a crystal story you want to share on the show, call in and we'll talk a little bit about crystals tonight. Everybody always loves to talk about that as well. So this full moon is going to kick up everything into high gear, as though the world wasn't traveling fast enough. Now, with the energy going into Scorpio and Aries, it's going to kick a lot of things up and it's going to stir a lot of dirt. And that's not a bad thing, because what comes up and what gets kicked up is absolutely supposed to be kicked up. Whether you believe in fate or whether you believe in guidance, I really think that we're all going to have a shift in 2022, and it's going to be ignited with this full moon. The full moon in Scorpio is actually right on the nodes of fate, which some people refer to as lunar nodes. And those are arcs of development for us. What's an arc of development? Well, it's a curve. It's a energy. It's an ignition point in our lives that happens to develop something new, some new perspective or some new guidance. So when that happens, expect change. And it could be really great change. It could be something that you've been working on for a long time. Now you suddenly get your reward. But there's a lot of other things that are going on this week building up to Sunday night, Monday, early morning's eclipse. First of all, we have Jupiter going into Aries. Jupiter is the planet of expansion. Everything it touches just widens and expands, whether it's a good energy or a bad energy in your life, wherever Jupiter is transiting in your chart in Aries right now, it is going to definitely ignite the energy. If you've been working hard on things and Jupiter goes into that particular house now in Aries, then you might get your rewards or opportunity may be expanded. If you've been having difficulty in a certain area of your life and Jupiter passes over that, oftentimes it will amplify the difficulty so it can be ended. Maybe the conflict will rise and rise and rise, but then it finally has an explosion where it ends. So Jupiter is a planet that definitely influences change in our life. It can be benevolent. It's meant to be benevolent, but if there's something you've been avoiding and Jupiter hits it, it's definitely going to bring it out. So Jupiter is right now in the last degrees of Pisces. And it being in the last degrees of Pisces is extremely intense. And that may be why some of us have what I like to call the feels. This is going to be an emotional week. It may be bringing up things from your past, especially with this eclipse coming on that node of fate, which is in the south node of Scorpio. South node is our past. It brings up past lives, past relationships. You may have past loves coming back in your life, past friendships being resurrected, exes coming back. All that kind of stuff is going to just be in high gear this week and for the next little while. A lot of this energy has to do with 12 years ago. It has to do with 19 years ago. Or for those of you who are ancient, just kidding, it could be 36 years ago. So that's because of the cycle of Aries. But mostly I would say, think back 12 years ago. What were you doing 2010, 2011? What were the high points of your life? Aries, bringing Jupiter into Aries is hitting that exact point of your chart again. So what will usually happen is you'll see something along the same lines either be resurrected or a situation occur that's very like that situation from 12 years ago. Why does the universe do that? In order for it does it for us to heal it, for us to be more receptive of it, for us to accept things in our life that maybe we couldn't 12 years ago, or maybe we started a project 12 years ago and now it's going to come to fruition and we're going to get everything that we deserve and all the rewards from that project or that change. So think back 12 years ago on that Jupiter and Aries. So that's the first thing that happens this week. And it happens on May 12th, right when Mercury goes retrograde. Now, this Mercury retrograde, big deal, folks. Not every Mercury retrograde is a big deal. This one is. It's in Gemini, which is communication. Mercury in Gemini retrograde makes a lot of glitches. My producer, Bobby, and I just had our clocks both stop at exactly the same time at 6:11 this evening. Things like that will occur. It'll have a lot of synchronicity because we're in the eclipse time, and the eclipse opens energy to be revealed. So really pay attention to whatever is glitchy. Travel this week, you may have glitches, delays, things like that. Not the best time to travel, but if you have to do it, just look at everything twice, check your schedules twice. The purpose of Mercury retrograde is so that we slow down and become introspective and really start to think about the things in our life that we're not really taking care of. Mercury retrogrades are there to help us seal the cracks in the driveway, the ones that our heel gets stuck in every time we walk in the house and we keep forgetting to fix. Kind of a good metaphor for Mercury in retrograde. So paint over those cracks, seal the cracks, get yourself going. Mercury retrogrades go a lot smoother when you check everything twice. If you have to sign contracts or have a medical procedure, check it twice, make sure you're on time. If you have to make a major purchase, check it twice, make sure you read the fine print, that kind of thing. So I want to talk a little bit more about this Jupiter going into Aries because it's happening right along that Mercury retrograde. All the energy is just shifting right now. We have a lot of shifts. That's going to create a lot of shifts in our life. We're also seeing a lot of shifts happening globally and in our country here in the United States. There's a lot of energy right now that's very symbolic of feminine mothers, and it's happening within the framework of revolution, change of structure. And it's uncanny when you look at astrology that this is all happening in the cosmos right when we have this big Roe versus Wade thing. And one of the things I'm going to say, because we still have Neptune in Pisces, and that's a lot of illusion, is a lot of delusion. So, really, if you're going to get involved in that, really look at it and observe it really carefully, because I think that there's a lot of delusions going on with that. And I'm not going to take a political stance about it, but use that almost as an example of things in your personal life that you really need to be well informed about before you start making decisions and opinions and judgments. Because this is an energy where, especially with the feminine relationships in your life, there will be rushes to judgment. There will be losses. There will be imbalances. And it's going to happen because we are rushing in and being impulsive and we don't have the whole story yet. The eclipse that happens over the weekend on Sunday night into Monday, that's going to reveal a lot more of the story. And whether it's in your personal life or what's happening on the global stage, I would say wait to make any judgments, decisions, or have heavy conversations, because that eclipse is going to really bring to light something that you don't already know. I can guarantee that. And if it doesn't do it like right on the eclipse point, which, sometimes happens, but eclipses energy lasts a long time. They're month long. So just look for that. Up until Sunday, kind of try to observe, because this is a very emotional week. It's a very intense week. We have those feels. So when Jupiter goes into Aries, it's also going to ignite that energy, because whatever you were dealing with when it was in Pisces, and this week it's in those last degrees of Pisces until the 12th, it's wrapping up the story. It's heightening the story. So you really have to look at it. And that's exactly what a Mercury retrograde does. It gets a glitch or creates a situation so you have to look at it. The X comes back, the computer crashes. You got to look at your content. You have to back up your stuff, look at it again. It's rejuvenating, but it rejuvenates after it repeats and regresses and redundancy. That's all Mercury retrograde. You have to do everything twice. So Jupiter in Aries is also followed this month, at the end of the month on the 24th, by Mars going into Aries. So I want to talk a little bit about Aries energy, because we're going to be affected by that a lot with this Jupiter in Aries. And Jupiter is popping into Aries just for a little while, and then it's going to go back to Pisces for a redo. So these things this week that are coming to the forefront or being amplified, they might go away for a little while when Jupiter goes into Aries, but then they're going to pop back in the fall for you to have your final time to reconcile it all. But Jupiter in Aries, Mars in Aries towards the end of the month, all this Aryan energy is fiery, and it's hot, and it's quick, and it's impulsive, and it's the ram. So it's really, really important right now for us to be a little more introspective. And I think it's almost a blessing that the cosmos are giving us this eclipse and this heavier Scorpio energy to combat this fiery Aries energy. Because if everything was in Aries, we would be scrambling around with our heads in the clouds, not knowing what to do, wanting to take all kinds of action that we don't know what we really should be doing. And because we have this Scorpio energy coming in, it really kind of balances a little bit, even though it makes it a little heavy for us, because it makes us be introspective and almost protects us from being that ram and charging in. So this week, you're going to want to take action, but don't. Wait. The eclipse is going to reveal something. So don't take the action yet. There's more to come. It's like when I decorate my house for Christmas and I invite people over to see it, and I have all these things that I want to light up, and I keep saying, but wait, there's more. That's what this energy this week is saying. And that's why a lot of us have anxiety, because we can feel something hanging in the air, almost like this suspended feeling, because there's more to come. And it may be a reward. It may be unbelievably optimistic energy, or it may be something you really need to take care of. But there is more to come. I can guarantee you. Just give it another 5 days. So The eclipses really do bring in deep stuff, and it doesn't do it like in an instant, unlike when we have a transit that's very powerful. Eclipses, think about the moon or the sun and the other, whatever it is, if it's a solar eclipse or a lunar eclipse. This one, I believe, is the lunar eclipse, so it's going to be in front of the moon. When the sun or whatever luminary, we have two luminaries, the moon and the sun, right? They're illuminators, they're lights, luminaries. They pass in front of each other. And for that little while, that planet that's in the back is dark, and then it gets light again, right? You have this circle, and the light passes over it. So think about that. That's what's going to happen in our life. Things are going to go a little dark to give us time to contemplate and think and be introspective. And then something's revealed in the light. So it's the celebration of that darkness, that calming, that really quiet time, when we can lay in a dim room or maybe just have a little candle lit and be quiet with our thoughts. And then the lights get turned on again. And we're grateful for that time. That's really what an eclipse is. So a lot of times it will reveal something in a longer period. Like you'll get a glimpse of what it is during the actual eclipse, and then it will stretch out for several months. But this particular eclipse, being in Scorpio, is really going to bring in a lot of the past for us. It's going to be a psychological energy. It's going to be an energy where we are dealing with things that are from our family of origin and things that are childhood memories, childhood conflicts, and things that we have to deal with. And it's going to give us a case of the feels about those things. But it does it so that not we're sad or hopeless or depressed or cheated or feeling bitter. It does it so that we can reconcile them and live a better life. So I know a lot of you tune into this show and you will call in about a reading with a partner or a job or something, in the three-dimensional world externally, outside yourself. And a lot of times people on the spiritual path will practice what we call spiritual bypassing, where they want to know what crystal to use or a tarot reading or get a healing because they really are trying to control or obtain an outcome in their life. They want the partner to come back. They want financial abundance. They want healing, a physical healing, or they want something to be rectified or reconciled in their life, a parental relationship, a child relationship. There's always a lot of times when people will come to spirituality because they're trying to heal something that isn't external in their life. That's not the journey. That might ignite the journey and cause you to be introspective, but the real journey, the real soul space, the real awakening that takes place over years, the real coming home to a place of your soul is righting the relationship with yourself. So eclipses and transits and Mercury retrogrades and all those things that the planets do, right? Because I think of the planets as individual gods, really. All of that energy and influence, it's all so that we can right the relationship with ourself, not so that we can get the spouse back or get the partner back or get the right job. Or yes, all those things are a guidance of the planetary influences, the right time to have a conversation, the right time to go on the job interview, the right time to make the move will be influenced by the planets. But the real deeper meaning, and I think this is what we're going to feel with this eclipse, the deeper meaning is righting the relationship we have with ourselves. And the more time we take out to do that, then all that other stuff falls into place. There's that saying, balance is an inside job and all those kind of things. And it's really, really true because that's what we're supposed to be working on. So whatever is going on in your life and whatever is chaotic, instead of having a conflict with it, pushing against it, having a conflict with the ex or the partner or the child or the family or the mother or the father or the coworker or the boss, instead of having a conflict with them or a confrontation with them, confront yourself. What am I really feeling? What's really going on in this situation? Why is this in my face right now? What is this trying to show me and where is it supposed to bring me? So instead of confronting everything else in your life, before you even attempt to do that, you have to confront yourself. And that's what this full moon eclipse, that's what this week is about, this Mercury retrograde is about, everything is about. Even something that happens that's mundane in a Mercury retrograde. Your phone messes up, or you lose emails, or your computer crashes. What is that really about? You can't get mad at the computer. You can try. You can throw it across the room if you want, but then you're just going to have more of a confrontation with yourself when you have to find the money to buy a new one. So it's always about confronting the self. What could I have done differently? What am I really responsible for? How do I use my responsibility? How do I respond to my abilities? Right? That's the journey. That's the soul space. And then when we meet ourselves head on and we confront ourselves head on and we take some introspection, that's when then we can go and work on the relationship with the boss, the spouse, the mom, the dad, the kid, everybody else. That's when we can go back and get the abundance. We know our course. Suddenly we have these revelations and these introspections that make us see clear. And we can take that clarity about ourselves. What are our resources? What are we really good at? What are we not so good at? What do we need to change? How do we need to really speak differently to ourselves and others? All a million different things that we confront ourselves about and then bring to our life. That's really what being on the journey to the soul space is, and then in turn you fix everything else, or you enhance everything else, you expand everything else, all the love in your life. So you're going to feel that a lot during this eclipse. We all are. That's going to be a collective thing. Where that takes place is indicative in your chart. Look where Scorpio is in your chart. What house is that in for you? Wherever that is in your charts and whatever planets you have there, that's what's going to be super heightened during this next week and next full moon eclipse. And that's really what the energy is. So take a pause. The eclipse are here to bring things into your conscience, into your consciousness that really you were trying to keep at bay. I don't really want to think about that. Oh, that's too much work. Yeah, they hurt me really bad with that, but whatever, it's over. I'm okay with it. Well, maybe you're not. And you need to go back there and confront yourself so that doesn't happen again, so that now you know how to act, you know how you should have other people treating you, et cetera, et cetera. So that's really what it's going to be about. Also, like I said before, this is a lot of relationship changes. Even though this is happening in the sign of Scorpio, where the stars are, this is happening right in the scales of justice at Libra. So this is all about balance. It's all about relationships to a lot of degree. We're going to see a lot of triangles revealed in this energy. And by triangles, you guys all know what I mean. The triangles of three people, three in a relationship, something you didn't know, maybe a triangle even at work where someone's picked over you or you're picked over someone else or whatever it might be. There's a lot of triangle type energy in this next few days and next week, and especially dealing with the feminine, the mother, the female in the relationships. That's going to be very heightened. Our own femininity. And whether you're male or female, you still have that. We all have male and female. So that's going to be really heightened in this eclipse full moon. And remember, whatever comes to be revealed is because you're supposed to know it. Nothing ever gets revealed or a truth ever gets told because you're not supposed to hear it or you don't want to see. You may not want to see it or hear it, but it's supposed to be revealed because you're supposed to hear it and see it and know it. It's for your own growth and expansion. Same thing with those great things that are going to be revealed. Maybe you didn't realize your worth, and now something's going to be revealed to show you. Or maybe you think someone doesn't really care for you, and that's going to be revealed to show you how beautiful and worthy they feel you are. So you're going to hear things, you're going to see things are going to be revealed. This is a higher strategic vision. Those words came to me in meditation. Higher strategic vision. And what I would say is not only are we going to be given higher strategic visions, but where in your life can you be part of a higher strategic vision? What do those words mean? It means instead of being difficult, instead of being oppositional, instead of confronting things and pushing against life and just being a pain in the butt sometimes, or we all get irritable, right? And we push against things. We have to drive in traffic and we bitch and moan about it the whole time. Well, you got to drive in traffic. Put on some nice music because you're going to be in traffic anyway. Bring yourself to a higher strategy and envision it, a higher strategic vision. What is your strategy for getting over the things that are difficult in your life? What is your strategy not to be difficult with those people who are difficult with you? Higher strategic vision instead of being difficult. Higher strategic vision when you're around people who are complaining and and whining and, not ungrateful, right? That's a real big one in today's world. People are ungrateful. What's your higher strategic vision for dealing with that? How are you going to stay grateful? How are you going to stay higher? Those are the kind of things that this is going to bring. This is a great energy to work in for that. This full new moon eclipse is also aspecting Pluto, Neptune, and Saturn. Pluto, Neptune, and Saturn. This is where the energy was in November, just this past 2021. So what was happening around the holidays, Christmas time, Thanksgiving, between Christmas and Thanksgiving in your life, that might come to light in this eclipse too, or the next few days. So dive deep, face the aspects that you need to in order to find that strategic vision, that higher strategic vision in your life. When you get the feels, let that energy flow through you. There's a lot of electrical energy out there right now. The Schumann resonance has been going off the charts. We have to have Phoenix back on to tell us all about that. So you're going to feel electricity. You're going to feel heightened emotion. You're going to feel like things are speeded up. I've been having a lot of time hops. Last night I thought it was 7:30 and it was 5:15. That was a shocker. So just know that and be aware. The best thing to do for your healing and growth is to be aware of all these things. Where is this bringing me? Not why is this happening, but how do I feel? What is this meant to bring me somewhere for? What am I doing this for? What's my strategy here? I feel like electricity in my body. What's my strategy for this? Where's the higher strategic vision? What's the right relationship with myself today? Am I going to be a pain in the ass in traffic? And am I going to, just be irritable and tensed up by the time I get to work? Am I going to not even want to deal with anybody? Is that my higher strategic vision? No, that's not your vision. So how can I have a right relationship with myself? One of the reasons why I practice astrology and study astrology as just one of my modalities is because the cosmos are always in perfect balance. The universe is the right order. It's the right order is in the cosmos. There's never a wrong order in the stars. It's always a right order. So when you look to that, it can guide you. And that's why I love to do charts. It's just one modality that I do. It's certainly not my whole spiritual life. I would say astrology probably makes up about 65% of my spiritual life. And the other part is definitely spirit communication and things like that. Yoga, meditation. But the cosmos and the astrology really can guide you to a lot of what we talk about on the show and working with your own soul and the journey that is your life. And it can bring you to a place where you can use your life to its full potential and make it the best used life you possibly can have. So if you want to use your life well, get a reading because it'll really, really help you a lot. So I'm going to go to my comments right now and see what's going on here. Not a lot of people on. I've noticed this energy also has people staying inside a lot, I notice. Even Mother's Day, it didn't seem like a lot of people went out. Everybody's kind of nesting a little bit. I've got Linda. Hey, Linda. Love you. I haven't talked to you in a long time. Hi, Anne. Anne is a faithful viewer. I have Janine on. I know this was a hard Mother's Day for some people as well. It was a hard Mother's Day for me. It always is difficult because I don't have children and my mom's gone. So it's not really a celebration kind of thing. I usually have a Reiki gathering or something at my house if the spirit allows, right? But this year was hard for me because I didn't have my dog. And in years past, I always said, oh, I'm a dog mom, So it was really odd. It was my first Mother's Day without the Sparkster. So very, very weird. Hey, Monica, I hope you're doing better than the last couple of times we spoke. Michael Zinn, haven't talked to you in a real long time. Weirdly enough, I was thinking about you this weekend and actually going to just give you a call, chat, see how you're doing. Yeah, exactly. Michael is and another wise person. Michael Zinn, a fabulous photographer. That's what I just realized lately, actually. He's commenting on people being on the journey to fix things externally instead of the work on themselves. And I kind of just came to that conclusion the last couple of months because I was starting to up my readings and things again after COVID. And I realized everyone who was coming to me to fix a problem. And I'm like, you don't really, go on a soul journey or get spiritual to fix a problem. You do it to have a higher level of life, a higher consciousness, right? So that just came to me. Sometimes when we have readings, and we do readings, people who do readings in this field, the message is always for us too. I have to say, many times I'm doing a spirit communication. Someone's past loved one comes through and they give me a message and I deliver the message. And then after they leave and I close the door, I'm like, wow, that was something I was really supposed to hear too. And that's one of the beautiful things about the benefit of doing this work is so oftentimes when we get to share a beautiful sacred space with someone else, that sacred space becomes an elevation and expansion in our own life in more than one way. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful way to work. So get your Reiki stuff and clean your life out and do some work. Hey, Deborah, I hope you're feeling good. Everybody send Deborah some hearts if you're in the Zenkuda community tonight, because Deborah had lost her brother a few weeks ago, and I know she's struggling with that, as we all would. And let's just send her up a bunch of heart emojis if you can. I'm going to give one here. And just give some love into Deb, because she really needs that. We love you. And Natalie Estar, also give her some love. We need to give her love because, yes, you can ask questions in the chat, Natalie, if you want, or you can call in as well. The number is 516-945-9099. Natalie has family in Russia, so, always feeling badly for everybody in this situation. So definitely send her out some love. And Christine Pepe Camarada, how are you, Christine? I hope you're feeling good. And Aaron's on. Aaron only stays for a little while because I know he has usually an exercise class or some craziness. But thank you all really for supporting the channel and my work and the show. Share the show if you'd like. We're going to have some more guests on in the next couple of weeks. So I'm going to pull some cards tonight for everybody because I know you like cards and sometimes we don't get to do them. So I feel like I'm supposed to pull some cards for Natalie, actually. Natalia, I'm sorry. She is such a beautiful space, such a beautiful girl. Also works in soul space. She does some things also, and it must be so hard for anybody. We forget about, we take so many political sides in these type of things with Ukraine and Russia, and we forget, behind all this stuff you see on the news is real people, whether they're in Russia or Ukraine or Poland or wherever. These are real people, and they're all suffering, in one way or another. So I'm just going to start pulling some cards for her. And okay, so she's asking about her boyfriend. So let's pull some cards for Natalia's relationship. I gave you a reading a few months ago, and I didn't feel good about that relationship. I don't know why. I didn't want to say too much because, sometimes the energy changes. But let me see what this is. I feel like he is really having a hard time with decisions right now. I feel like he's very pressured, not so much from you, but just like he's like getting it from all angles, kind of. So I think that you should give it time there. Maybe move out, focus on yourself, and then it might cycle back. But I think you guys need quiet time away from each other for a little while. Let me see what the cards say. Okay. Yeah, I'm seeing you right in the middle here. Okay. So, Natalie, I feel like you have been, I know that you also do readings and you sometimes do card work and things like that with the tarot. And because I've done fairs with her, and I know you are gifted, and I know you also get messages a lot in dreams. And I feel like you are either getting messages that you're ignoring, or you've put that part of your life where you really are working with spirit on hold a little bit. And I feel like you need to go back into that energy of really connecting with spirit and with your beliefs. I feel like that's kind of a little bit diminished in this energy because you're thinking a lot about your problems. So I would say definitely take a few steps back. Yeah, and I said, I said that I saw the baby coming too. So I think you need to take a few steps back. I feel like the relationship will work, but I feel like you can't push it right now. You've got to give him some space, and then he kind of comes back around. But I feel like you might need to be on your own right now, or at least away from him for a little while. I don't know if that separation will be permanent, but I feel like there needs to be a little bit of a separation. I also feel you need it for your own health. Like you need to take care of yourself. That's coming through really strong for me. So, and I feel like he can be very set in his ways and kind of stubborn. I also see that there's some finances involved, and I don't want you to feel like you are not capable of stepping up and taking care of yourself financially. I know you've done that before, and I know if you're not doing that 100% now, you can do that. So do not allow, because they're showing me, don't allow the money and finances to be a factor here. That will work out for you. I do feel you leaving. I feel like it's an emotional situation. I feel like there's definitely a separation. It's not easy for either one of you, but I feel like if you stay, your health is going to go down. Like you need to leave for your own health. Not a stable situation at all, very unstable. Yeah, there's a lot of sadness around this relationship right now. So I think you need to give it some time, move away from it. I think you need to get some happiness and some joy in your life before you take on that relationship again. You're out of balance, really out of balance. And I feel it from the health point of view. You definitely need to take care of your health. Yeah, I think definitely what I'm saying is go on your own. So if you want to give me a buzz, I know you have my private number. If you want to give me a buzz later, that'll be fine. But I definitely think you need some space. And don't look at it as the end of everything. It's not the end of the world. I really think it might be temporary, but I think if you're going to make it work, is what I'm getting very clearly. If you're going to make it work, it's going to be after you're apart from each other for a while. If you stay in the energy that you're in, it's not going to work. It's going to be way too much. He feels very overwhelmed. I also feel like he's acting in a way that he doesn't normally act, whether that's, him being just frustrated, maybe drinking, I don't know. But I feel like he's acting in a way he doesn't normally, out of character. And I feel like you guys need to be apart to get back to yourselves and who you truly are. Don't forget what an amazing person you are, and you are valuable. You're not valuable because of that relationship. You're valuable anyway. So don't ever feel like that relationship is the be all, end all, everything. Don't put all your eggs in that basket. All right. You need to get back to yourself, and you need to be really strong in your health for the baby. So that should be your focus right now. You have to focus on yourself. All right. And I wish you every luck in the world. And we're all going to send you love now. And, but that's what I feel like. I feel like you need to move away from him. And if the relationship has any chance at all, it's with you guys moving apart. We have a call. Hello, welcome to the Soul Space.
Hi, Georgia. There, and I'm actually.
Hey, Aaron, how are you? Sounds like a lot's going on in your life. I know you were messaging me earlier today.
I feel like, you're right. When everything is speeded up.
Everything's speeded up.
I feel like I'm going 1,000 miles an hour.
Well, especially for you. I've done private reading for Aaron, and I know his chart has Aries very heavily in it. So this Jupiter going into Aries for you is going to be, and it's only going in for a little while. It'll be there until October, goes back to Pisces, but then after that, it goes, 2023 into Aries for the whole year. And that's going to be good for you. I don't know what house you have Aries in. Do you know?
No, not off the top of my head. I know that I have Aries in Venus and Aries.
You got planets in there
my
too.
My moon is in Aries.
Yeah, it's a very prominent house in your chart, I know. So what I want to say to you is that Aries energy for you is going to be amplified. And with Jupiter going in there, you're going to feel, because Aries is a fast energy anyway. Aries is an energy that makes everything speeded up. It's just fast. It's fire. And, think about fire. It consumes everything in its path, right? So what you want to do is try and harness this energy for productivity. Because if you think about fire, it can burn, it can destroy, right? Or you can use it as fuel for warmth and food and nourishment. So you want to turn that fire that you're feeling, that quick lightning kind of fire, that impulsivity, and you want to make it work for you. You want to make you more productive instead of burning out. One of the things I would suggest for anybody out there who has a lot of Aries in their chart, is try and put yourself in some kind of a routine, like going to bed the same time, waking up the same time whenever possible, and eating your meals the same time every day. Like try and make a routine because that will ground you into time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that advice is really, I do that a lot too. Like I'm very, very much a creature of habit.
Good.
I think Mercury's in Taurus for me, so that might be why.
Yeah, you're steady.
But I'm I'm very much a creature of habit, whether it's good habit or bad habit.
That's true with all of us. So I would say that what you want to do now is like whatever the energy is going to feel like for you for the next couple of months with Jupiter being in Aries, that's going to give you a glimpse of what your year is going to be like next year. So, and for all of us,
Okay.
like whatever is going on in the Aries part of like I have it in the fourth house, which is house and home. I'm in real estate. So my business is just blowing up right now. I'm like so busy, very abundant. And I know that's Jupiter's going to expand that. So I'm preparing for that by really organizing and putting systems in place so I can take advantage of the market. So, and the abundance that comes to me. Same thing, wherever Aries is in your chart, prepare for that being an abundant time. If it's relationship, if it's your 10th house of work, wherever it is, that's what's going to really blow up for you. And it should blow up in a good way if you've prepared and done the work that you're supposed to do there.
Okay.
So what else is going on with you? I know you had some work things.
Yeah, I don't know why. Like I feel like for me, I feel like everything's happening at once, and I don't know. Like I feel like I'm probably just doing too much. But I showed you that work message today, and I didn't really. I
didn't feel like it was bad. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull some cards for work for you, because I think you're very focused right now on working. You know, whatever the employment is, you're very focused. I'm going to pull 3 cards for that. Okay. We have a caller on hold. So Aaron, I'm getting great cards for this. New beginnings. I got the Ace of Cups came up. I don't know if Bobby wants to put a camera on the table because I know you're on the phone. The Ace of Cups came up and the Judgment card comes up. Now the Judgment card for me is all new beginnings. When we see the Judgment card, it could be new beginnings, but it could also be new beginnings health-wise. So I know you usually like to work out and you're very fitness-oriented. So if you've been slacking, you want to go back to your routine because the universe will support that now. The other card I got is the Ace of Cups, which is also new beginnings in relationships. And since this spread is about work, it might be that you have a new relationship coming in from work, either a superior or maybe somebody that's going to work under you. But these are 2 cards of new beginnings, and that's prosperous. The other card I got was the 5 of Swords, which means competition in a friendly way. But usually the 5 of Swords also means that your competitors or the people who are competing against you are kind of putting down their swords and going home, and you won the battle. So if you look at this card, you'll see that these soldiers have put down their arms and they're leaving, and this is you in the forefront, in victory. So this is the storm clouds passing. Any kind of competitor or anybody who maybe was like a backstabber or something like that at work is past. That energy is passing, and you're going to win. I'm going to just pull one more card to confirm this reading. But to me, this is abundance and new beginnings. What I also want to say to you is even though the energy is really speeded up around you, try and slow down and be an observer. Because one of the things about this Judgment card, if you look at it, is you've got Archangel Gabriel blowing his trumpet. That is a sign that you'll be receiving messages if you observe. And especially with this energy that's coming in with the full moon and the eclipse, Jupiter going into Aries, Mercury retrograde, that's an energy, all those piled on energies is a time when the universe really wants us to kind of be the observer and not necessarily take a lot of action. So the fact that this card is in your reading is saying, slow down, watch what happens because there's opportunity and rewards coming in for you, less competition, and more productivity. And then the final card that I got, look at this, it's all pentacles. These are coins. You got the 10 of Pentacles, which means super, super abundance. So as far as work goes, just focus on the things that you're best at. Don't get distracted by trying to take on something new that is unusual or that you haven't mastered yet. Work hard on the things you've already mastered. And the other thing I wanted to tell you...
Is that,
yeah, go ahead.
oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Is that new beginnings? Like a new beginnings as in another new job?
No, I think this is new beginnings, like recognition at work. It also could be new beginning of someone new coming into the company, that you either work
Okay.
with or that, but it feels favorable to me. And the other thing, this is going to sound really out there, Aaron, but for some reason, this weekend, sometimes people just come into my mind. I have people that I go to for readings because I can't really read myself. And sometimes they'll just randomly text me and say, "Oh, this just came to me. I think that you got to do this." And I had a message like that for you this weekend, and I don't know why, and you're going to laugh at this, but I saw you doing vision board workshops,
Hmm.
like going to like yoga studios or someplace and doing vision board workshops.
So that actually kind of ties into this right now.
Yeah, yeah.
One of the things, so that's actually really kind of spot on, is one of the things, I don't want to take too much time, but whenever I interviewed for this job, we had to do a presentation. I did a presentation on how to create a vision board. And so that's one of the things that that I haven't done yet, but they've, just because the actual job and training itself has been really busy.
Yeah.
But that's one of the things that they've wanted me to do, is for like an activity with my team, is to create basically like a plan to teach them how to make vision boards.
You should absolutely do it. And this weekend, for those of you who are computer oriented, this weekend I actually made a vision, because after I had that message for you, I was like, maybe I'm supposed to do a vision board. So I went on. I use Canva a lot for my stuff, and I went on. Look, there's a lot of different apps you can use to create a digital vision board. So I actually created a vision board on one of the apps, and I put it on my screen saver.
Oh, that's a really good idea.
I know. And I was like, wow, this is really cool. I'm telling you, I think that you're going to elaborate on that. But I think there's you could do something like that. And I know you love doing that. And I just feel like you'd probably, because everyone now wants to do something optimistic after coming off the last 2 years. And I don't know why that just came to me. So this weekend, I was thinking of you. See how Zenkuda works?
Oh, the other thing I was going to say, so I have been thinking about a different job. So I want to get the experience here. And then after that, there's a job that honestly pays a lot more.
Yeah.
And so I'm wondering, is that new beginning that?
It could be. And I just pulled a another card for you of my soul cards, and it's all green energy around it, and this light being is jumping for joy, and all the light around her head. So I just think you've got opportunity. And the best advice I can give you, and this is from an old fart like myself, I spent so many years trying to control my outcomes, especially in my career, and I have a great career and everything, and even this work that I do is wonderful, but just let it flow. Be aware, be really as aware of you as you possibly can of the opportunity, because sometimes we're so caught up in trying to control an outcome that we don't see an opportunity and we miss it. And there's a big difference between that and flowing with it and making a plan. You want to have goals, but you don't want to be so goal oriented that you only think about outcomes. Like shoulda, woulda, coulda, 24 hours a day makes you miss life. It makes you miss the opportunities that come to you. So especially with all this green around this card, Aaron, relax, because you've got so much abundance and so much opportunity coming to you. It's almost innate. Like you don't have to work that hard at it. Allow the good things that are in your life now to expand. And instead of trying to bring in more strange things or more new things, work these things for a little while first and then bring in the next thing.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You don't want to do that, though. I know you. You want to go 1,000,000 miles an hour.
No, I don't. That's one of the things I've kind of realized is I do not stop. I'm 1,000 miles an hour. And, it could be the Gemini, too, because...
Oh, absolutely. You have a very fast chart. But I think what you have to do is just slow down a little bit and use the resources that you already have, the resources that are within you to accomplish all these goals that you want. Otherwise, you'll be counterproductive, and you don't want to be like that. I would make a list of all your talents and all the things you're really good at and bring them to whatever job you want to do, if it's this one for a little while or wherever. But you have to really know what you are great at and where your strengths lie, where your weaknesses lie, and then go forward with that. But according to the cards, you got a lot of abundance coming, kiddo, so relax.
Well, I'll try.
All right. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you, Aaron.
Talk to you soon. Thank you. Bye, Georgia.
Bye-bye. So Aaron's in Texas, so he messages me once in a while. Whenever I give someone a reading, and believe me, there's hundreds of you out there at this point, I always like to try and keep in touch a little bit with everybody. So I know we had someone else who was trying to call on the show. I'm really sorry. Hey, Nancy, I haven't talked to you in a really long time. I hope things are going good. I have Caitlin on. Everybody's just... I'm looking at this. Oh, thank you. Hello, Aunt Terry. So we are almost done with the show. And I want to say next week, if you tune in, I'm not really sure what the show is about, but if you like me on Facebook, you'll get a glimpse of what it's about. Zenkuda Official on Instagram. And of course, my website, zenkuda.com, if you want to book a reading. I'll see everybody next Monday night at 7 o'clock. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Soul Space with Georgia Rose. Bye-bye now.